Now let's speak about dimension number 5. Dimension number 5 is bone density and loading. And the question would be, why do we need to know the bone density? I think this is a very basic question, but sometimes the answer might skip our minds. So before I answer this question, let's lay out some facts. Fact number 1. We have higher failure rates for implants placed in the maxilla rather than the mandible. This is actually a fact, and the reason why is because bone density does play a role in implant's primary stability and subsequent osseointegration. If I place an implant with high primary stability from the beginning, the odds of this implant osseointegrating are definitely higher, and this is what we get in the mandible more than in the maxilla. Fact number 2, implant stability is not a one-sided coin, which means for me to get good primary stability, I have to look at two things and not only one thing. So the first side, it will be implant design. We usually try to use an implant with a good design, but as we said, implant design on its own is definitely not enough. So what good would the implant design do me if the osteotomy is a lot wider than the implant? Which means there are two things that go hand in hand. Number 1 is the implant design, and the second thing is instrumentation. How much drilling am I doing to place my implants? And am I using the proper amount of drills or not? Am I over drilling or am I under drilling? So the two factors of implant primary stability are implant design and instrumentation. And that leads me to the concept of customizing the drilling protocols. Drilling protocols could be customized after the assessment of the bone density in the future implant site, with the purpose of obtaining higher primary stability to avoid over-instrumentation and subsequent loss of implant primary stability. So that leads me to the question that I asked at the beginning. Why do we need to know the bone density? The reason why is because if we know the bone density before the surgery, I will know exactly how many drills I will be using so I can avoid over-instrumentation. And if I know exactly how many drills I'll be using, I'll also know how to place the implant with very high primary stability, and this is what we want. Now, based on the bone density analysis, we start to customize the drilling protocol. And this is what we do in the digital eye technology, is that after we know what the bone density is, we start to customize our drilling protocols. So in cases where we have D1 dense bone, this is a 4mm implant, and for my 4.0mm implant, my final drill will be 3.8mm, since this is going to be D1 bone. On the other hand, if I place the same size implant in D4 bone, what we usually do is we skip a drill just to make sure that we'll get good primary stability, and this is what we call customizing the drilling protocol. Now, the great thing is with R2Gate system, every case that you do with R2Gate, you'll get an automated drilling protocol which will let you know how many drills you should be using to get the best primary stability in each site based on the bone density analysis that is done with the R2Gate digital eye. If we start to customize the drilling protocols, we'll get higher primary stability. Higher primary stability means new possibilities for immediate loading.